What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. Hey guys, we are winding down to the last few days or last weeks of NBA fantasy. I know it's getting a little calmer, I guess.
Yeah, 11 days left, guys. 11 days left.
11 days left, and of course, there's still lots of teams or managers playing, but the questions have lessened a bit, I guess, because maybe some of the managers were either eliminated or it's easier right now because adding and dropping players, like we said, has been easier in the playoffs.
Yeah, I guess it's more clearer. The picture is clearer already. You won't think twice about dropping star players who aren't playing anymore.
Yeah,
or who's out.
But having said that, there's still a lot of question marks in terms of whether should I keep this player and should I drop him already. And today, for example, Kevin Porter Jr. of Houston got injured. Player who has been hot over the past few weeks. Now, the question is, would he still be playing the next game? Should we wait until we get more definitive injury update? Or should we just drop him altogether and move on?
That's tough because the way I saw the injury, he was limping, but he was walking. He was not carried out or anything. So I don't think it's that serious. But of course, it's Houston. Houston doesn't have any players left.
Houston has only six players left.
Six players left. And actually, KJ Martin was also limping after the game. Just for our viewers. Because he's one of the biggest ads. But there's not much news about that. So maybe it's nothing. But whether you drop KPJ or not, I would believe he will not play the next game. Now, after that, I don't know. So, for you, if that's important, like you're really, really close or you're looking to come back from a deficit or something, you can drop him because, especially if it's your finals.
If it's your finals, player. I think it's an easy drop for me. I think you should drop him if it's in your finals. If you are in the semifinals, then maybe that's... Like always, it's a tougher decision to make if you're in the semifinals. Especially if you can make it to the next round, and you'd probably need a player like KPJ in the next round.
Yeah, so since we're in Houston, I think we're going to do the in and out section today, right?
Yep.
Who's in, who's out. So in Houston, why are they down to 6 players? Because of the COVID issue with Jason Tate. We don't know if he's positive or not. Again, this is a trend we've been noticing. Jeremy and I have talked about this 2 days ago that they're getting more and more COVID cases in the NBA again.
Yep.
Which is really alarming for me because it's the playoff already of the real NBA. So it would be a big problem if suddenly this comes back. And for us who still plays until next week, this can really, be a topsy-turvy situation. But anyway, Tate is out for 2 games at least, I think. So if you want to drop him, I think you drop him actually. Not you want to drop him. And then go pick up KJ Martin, who's their best ad out there.
There have been concerns if Houston would still play a game, considering that they're down to 6 players. There was a question a while ago I had.
Ron?
Ron was asking. One of our
followers
followers was asking if he should add KJ Martin because he felt that Houston is down to 6 players and they might postpone one of their games. But Komish gave out a good point a while ago while we were chatting before we started. It's Houston and they're not even part of the playoffs anymore. So I don't think the NBA would want to waste to postpone a game and reschedule it.
And I think if it's not COVID related, there have been cases where teams have not had 8 players left. They have 6 or 7, but they asked an injured player to dress put on their uniform just for show, just to have 8 players on the bench. So that is something that definitely Houston can do and will do instead of canceling or postponing or rescheduling that game. So I'm not worried about it. And I mean, Adam Silver would probably be like, I don't care about Houston.
Who cares about Houston?
Let them get anybody they want. Who cares? Let them finish out their last 5 games or 4 games or whatever. Just let it be done with. So don't worry about that. I mean, I think they're gonna finish.
What you should look for would be the opponents of Houston, because they might feast against this Houston.
Oh yes.
They will pretty much have nobody except Kelly Olynyk and KJ Martin there. I think 3 players maybe of you probably heard in the quickies or maybe in other in the fantasy world. KJ Martin, Kelly Olynyk, and maybe Armani Brooks.
We have talked about KJ Martin early on.
Yeah.
Early on, since Christian Wood said, even before Christian Wood said something about his ankle.
Yeah.
We said Houston was gonna finish the season with KJ Martin, and he's gonna go strong at the end of the season. So I hope you listened, because he was still available in some leagues, in some of the leagues I've seen. Yeah. So I hope you get him now. KJ Martin.
Yeah. And Olynyk might win you your matchup.
He will.
He has been very solid, and he has been probably, for some teams who have been down to lots of injuries, he's probably the number 1 option right now for their fantasy teams because of his solid numbers and across the board. Like today, he almost had a triple-double. He had 4 blocks. I think he had a steal. He shot the ball well. He had a 3 or 2 threes, 1 or 2 threes. So really solid line from Kelly Olynyk. So there. Speaking of COVID, Rui Hachimura is again out due to COVID.
COVID protocols.
Again? Okay.
COVID protocols. They said he's going to be out for 2 games at least, and then we don't have any more information after that. Of course, he's a drop. He's a drop right now. And it's sad because, as I said, the curse of FBW continues. We just said that Rui is going to have a great week because of the weak opponents of Washington. And then,
well, except for today, the opponent was not as weak today. But, for those who own Chris Middleton, I'm sure they'll be disappointed because he didn't play like us.
Yeah.
We own Chris Middleton in the Roto League, and that's another player who goes down for us.
Well, it's a rest. It's just rest.
Yeah, I know, so but it's against Washington, one of the most favorable matchups for teams when you need the stats. And
so since this is an in and out situation, in Milwaukee, it's Dante DiVincenzo's been in. Somebody who has been out last week. Now this week has been so hot and playing so well. So you just can't figure these things out. But
like you said, there was I forgot who asked me a question a while ago if what would happen to Goga. It was actually a stream that was went wrong today because he didn't play as well as they expected. But he was asking if he should already drop him because I think he has another game.
Tomorrow, he has a game tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's a back-to-back, right? So he was asking if we think Goga would still play. Otherwise,
because he had a fight.
He had a fight with an assistant coach.
He had a fight with the assistant coach. Yes.
He had a shouting match with the assistant.
He will play. Fights like this happen, but he will play. Whether he plays well or not, I think what he did today, he can do because he did nothing basically. He had 5 rebounds and 2 blocks. I mean, the blocks is not bad. The blocks are not bad. 2 blocks is not something to laugh about. But if you expect him to be 10-10 or something, that's not gonna happen.
He won't.
It's not gonna happen. So if that was what you were expecting, then it was your fault, not Goga's fault.
No, maybe the blocks. The blocks is
there. The blocks will be there.
But like I said, at this point, we really don't know who's playing or who's not. Anyone can can be rested and can be sat down, and really,
There's
it's hard
no
to
Mr. Durable. There's no Mr. 100%.
Yep, especially at this point.
There's no injury prone. D'Angelo Russell is still playing. Kevin Love will play it out at the end of the season. I mean, even Blake Griffin is playing every other day. So, these guys are injury prone, but they're gonna play. So it's just, just play the odds. That's what I do. Play the odds. The odds are this player will be playing, so I'll play him. I'll choose him. If it doesn't work out, then what can you do? I mean, that's how it is.
Yep. And
right?
Yep. Speaking of in and out, let's talk about some of the ins and outs among the players.
Who'll start? Mo. Yeah, Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba.
Happy with Mo.
And Wendell Carter Jr. So Mo Bamba's in. Wendell Carter Jr. is out. Did he play? Wendell Carter Jr.?
No. He didn't play because of an eye abrasion. Okay? The injuries are getting better and better every day. So Mo, as I said, he's been playing better than Wendell Carter even prior to this eye
even
issue.
off the bench. Even off
the bench. So I've dropped
in the first place.
I've dropped Wendell Carter Jr. in 12-team leagues. So maybe in 14-team, even in 14-team, I'll drop him already. I'm not gonna wait for this eye issue to be better.
Yeah,
Bamba is obviously outplaying him.
Yeah,
so,
and like I said, even off the bench, even if Wendell Carter plays, you shouldn't be dropping Mo Bamba at this point. They're giving.
You should be adding him.
He has been producing in limited minutes, even in limited minutes. So he should be an add, and he is one of the players that, well, I don't want to say it, but I think he is one of the players that most likely Orlando would play until the end.
And by the way, we're going to be talking about Orlando a lot in this Quickie. Steve Clifford has already said that all the injured players in Orlando is out for the season. Yep. So Okiki, James Ennis, Terrence Ross, they're out for the season. All of them are out for the season. So Wendell Carter is not, because he's just a minor eye thing. But I would not be surprised if he misses 1 or 2 more games. They just decide to rest him. So be careful with that. Yeah. Speaking of still owning him.
Speaking of Orlando, let's move on to the guard lineup. RJ Hampton is in.
Yeah.
Cole Anthony is out. RJ Hampton has been playing. Yesterday, we got a question from the live session whether RJ Hampton is a good add. We told him that you can stream him and see how far it goes. Because at this point, really, it's hard to. Again, he is a rookie, and like any other rookies, he can get slumps. And
like Cole.
Yep, I mean, Cole. He was hot a few weeks ago.
A few games ago, actually. This is just the second straight game that Cole Anthony has sucked, basically. But as I said,
he
Cole
got
Anthony
hit as well today. Early in the game, he got hit. So I'm not sure if that affected his game, but yeah.
He's a drop. Some people have asked today whether they will drop him. I said yes, drop him, because right now he's a player who will not help you if his shots will not fall. So if he's slumping, just let him go.
He's a low-end player anyway. I won't have problems dropping a player like Cole Anthony for maybe RJ Hampton, right? So
RJ Hampton, yes. Move over to RJ Hampton.
Yep. And yeah, pretty much that's the guard rotation in Orlando. Other players who are in, we talked about KJ Martin, who is in. Jason
There's one more player in Orlando, Mo Wagner.
Mo Wagner.
Mogna Wagner.
Right, Mo Wagner.
Washington.
And O'Shea Brissett.
I mean, just last week we were talking about how good O'Shea is. And Joseph Crisologo, one of our listeners, said, Will he drop Brissett? He asked last night, and we talked about it a while ago. I said, yeah, I think he's starting, but the stocks have, as he said, the stocks are gone. Steals, the blocks, they have disappeared. So without that, Brissett is basically not really any value player. Mo Wagner, I don't trust this guy, but he's playing well. And again, as I said, no more Okiki forever. So, for the season. So,
Orlando would be a good place or a good team to pick up some players.
Bacon. Bacon.
Bacon might be another guy. RJ Hampton, like we said. and Mo Bamba, Mo Wagner. So those players should be
Yes.
players that you can stream, and they probably would be the new OKCs or the new Detroit of the league. We were talking about Matisse Thybulle of the so I watched Matisse Thybulle, and I watched a part of the game a while ago, and like I said, he is quite impressive on the defensive end. Really impressive. The help defense is good. The anticipation is really good when it comes to stealing the ball. The blocks, even as a small guy, he knows how to position against big guys when he is helping out. That's why he's getting so many blocks. He's blocking them from behind. He knows where to position himself, so he won't get, he won't foul. He won't take a foul. So really, Matisse Thybulle had 3 blocks and 3 steals today. And
if you ask me if I would choose Matisse start of the week, if you ask me who I will use, Matisse Thybulle or OG Anunoby, I would have told you OG. I mean OG. I mean there's no back to back. He's gonna play 3 games, but well, what do we know? Like Jeremy said, actually Thybulle has gotten 12 steals and 12 blocks the past 4 games. That's
he's
insane.
averaging 1.6 steals, I think,
for the season.
And 1.1 block.
1.1 block. He's the only player less than 6'10" who's doing that, and one of only 2 or 3 this season. So what's the difference? Why are we late on Thybulle? No, not late. Why is he this late performing this well this late? Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid, no matter what you say, they're sleepwalking through these games. Watch the games, and especially Tobias, especially Ben. They're not going all out.
Also Embiid. I mean,
yes, Embiid. I mean, they're not going all out. So right now
it's now just shooting jumpers, not really forcing his way inside, unlike the early part of the season.
Tobias.
But I think really Thybulle has really been known as a defensive specialist, even in college, and he's a highly touted defensive player, really.
Yes.
Even in his rookie year.
Yes. But not this good. Not this kind of level consistently.
I think early in his career, like last year, I don't think he got into a good groove. This year, I think he's slowly getting it. I won't be surprised if he can be, he can average 1-1 every season.
Every season, yes.
I won't be surprised if he does that.
He's probably the younger version of Robert Covington. We're talking about
without the offense.
Well, not yet. But Covington is just really a hit or miss player. The only reason why Thybulle is not scoring a lot is because he's really not getting a lot of shots as well.
Yeah,
that's
and he's not really looking for them.
Yes, but I think right now the in is Thybulle, the out is OG. Robert Covington is also an out. I mean, who would you? Yeah. Would you drop Covington start of the week for Matisse? You won't, but you should have if you saw this production from Matisse Thybulle.
Guys, if you're really looking for steals and blocks,
it's Thybulle.
It's Thybulle. I mean, there's really no steals and blocks for a guard. Yeah,
and not a fluke. Not just one. Not fluke.
Yeah, he'll probably have games wherein he doesn't have a block, but he'll probably have a few steals. I mean, you don't really, steals and blocks probably the hardest stats to get, right? Yes. Especially from a guard. So, you'll take it. Like, if he just gives you 1-1, I think you got him for those 1-1. I won't mind having him there. He can, especially now in the playoffs. Like, every team I'm telling you, every team who feels that they're the underdog, go get those steals and blocks. Go get those steals and blocks. Remember, today, I was against Gobert. Gobert had 0 blocks, which is I'm really grateful for. And the Kelly Olynyk on my team had 3, I think, or 4. So, and I got Thybulle as well, so I got another 3. That's 6 already. So I think those are steals and blocks really could be game changers in fantasy playoffs.
And underdogs, Thybulle, and probably the next one we're going to talk about, Facundo Campazzo. These are the 2 players underdogs should be owning right now, because as Jeremy said, you're trying to sneak in through the back door, through the steals, the blocks, the turnovers. these are the guys that you should own who would help you with your strategy.
Yep.
And there, Facu today
had another 5 steals. So he had 2 games straight wherein he averaged 5 steals.
And 2 blocks. Yeah. And the 2 blocks. The 2 blocks hurt. The 2 blocks hurt me. I'm playing against someone with Thybulle and Facu. I would take the steals. I'll say, okay, get the steals. But the 2 blocks was the one that surprised me. And it really hurt because I own Jokic there. He was correct. That owner is correct. Sometimes it's good if you see that the star player of your opponent is, let's say, Jokic, and you get another player in that team, the same team as Jokic. Because sometimes it negates the star player's performance because, this player also played together and play well. If Jokic has a good matchup, this guy also has a good matchup, right? So he did that. He told me that he really did that because he wanted to match my Jokic. So that was a very shrewd move. That's a very good move. And it's something, a tip for all of you guys if you're playing against.
And Campazzo has been getting the minutes. I mean, he's been getting 30, 35 minutes. So
and there's no one else. The team is cursed according to their coach.
Yeah, and if you need points, he might not be your guy. But if you need the assist and the steals, the blocks are obviously a fluke.
Who's the out that we gave here? In is Facundo is out.
Darius Garland and Ricky Rubio.
Ricky Rubio there. Maybe, Facu is the new age Ricky Rubio. Not as poggy, as handsome, but
probably
doesn't have enough hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But aside from Facu, I will put in Austin Rivers. We talked about Austin Rivers. Today, revenge game, 25 points. And as I said, no more guards. Do you know what Denver did today? They started 4 big man and Facundo. And because it was a rout, they could not, even if it was a rout, they could not rest Campazzo because they didn't have any other guards.
Yeah.
So he played 30-something minutes today.
Yep.
So that's how valuable he is right now.
Now the question is, would he be able to get another 3 or 4 steals next
game?
No,
please, no.
We're telling here's the challenge for us. We are telling everyone he should be an ad, but we're
hoping and praying.
We ourselves don't want him to get those steals and blocks. I was lucky. My opponent was late in adding him. He added him for tomorrow's game, which they don't have any. So at least there's that. But yeah.
The thing is, I added him in one of my leagues, the finals, where I'm in the finals, and I'm playing against him in the other league. So I don't know what to think right now.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's what we call the roller coaster of emotion.
I'm gonna
the
pray for the steals.
Emotion.
I'm gonna pray for the steals, but please don't give me blocks anymore. Don't give me those 2 blocks.
I don't mind him getting steals. I just hope it's not 5. Because 5 is a lot for 1 player. Like, that's a stat for 3 players. 5 steals is like 3 players getting a steal each or a steal and a half. Right?
Yeah.
So not 5.
Speaking of we're gonna talk about the team. Jeremy said OKC and Detroit are, out. So week 14, week 15. Yeah, that's so long ago. Now it's about Sacramento, about Orlando, about Houston. This team have the players like Sacramento. Dillon Wright. Jeremy talked about 5 steals from Facu. Dillon Wright gave you 6 steals, gave you 2 blocks also, I think, and then gave you 3 3-pointers, 23 points.
And what the other day, or was it yesterday? He was 4 and 4.
Yes, 4 steals and 4 blocks. So how do you like your Dillon right now? He gave you 10 steals. Imagine if your opponent saw you having Dillon Wright, Matisse Thybulle, Facundo Campazzo, and like, chicken feed this guy. Dillon is hot. Buddy Hield suddenly became a triple-double guy. With no Fox, with no Haliburton. He's 18 and 8 and 8 today. And then what's worse is even Marvin Bagley suddenly has become a 20 and 10 guy. When he was about to return, I said pick him up. I think he's gonna be like a Rui, scorer, and then not much else.
But he's more than that.
31 points and 12 rebounds. And you know what's worse? I'm also against this guy in the same. Man, the frustrations. But anyway. That's how fantasy goes.
Here's my question. When you have usually when you are in a top seed in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Most likely you have the best team. Probably you have the better players, right? There's no reason why you have the players. You are in the top seed or the top 2 seeds.
I do. Yes.
You have role players, but most likely you have real good players that are not even borderline droppable, right? But right now, at this point, would you want to have at least 2 players that you might, stream and just not have, that many good players? I mean,
yes. You have to. You have to have those players.
Like
now,
Brogdon or players like players that would give you a hard time to think if they're a drop or an OG or a Van Vliet, right? It's so hard to decide whether to drop these players.
I'll speak in my own experience. 2 of my teams I said is really strong. Jeremy knows one of them. That's one of our leagues.
The Tinker League?
The Wendy's League.
Okay.
That team became strong because I added. I won't say that Duncan Robinson and Tim Hardaway Jr. are not droppable, but those are my worst players there.
Yeah, those are good players already.
That's a deep league. I mean, that's 14 teams, and we have 15 players this year because we extended the rosters, and those are my worst players. And I made the decision before the week to drop them because I said they don't have games on Monday. I had the bye, so I wanted to use my moves to have a lot of games early on Monday. So I dropped those 2 players, and I said, why will I not drop them? Because I need at least 2 roster spots that Jeremy said for me to stream.
Yep.
So I have to sacrifice. I made the sacrifice. I don't know if it's correct because Tim Hardaway had 10 3-pointers, and then I was so hot.
Also killed me. I can't believe I'm losing threes because of Tim Hardaway Jr., who had 10 threes.
So you can't say it's correct or not, but if you play often enough, in general, it's the right move to have a streaming spot, 1 or 2 in the playoffs.
Yeah, because there are going to be players like these, like Campazzo, who's going to be game changers, like Thybulle, who's going to be real game changers, KJ Martin, who can really will look like first rounders because the real first rounders are resting or are just coasting, and trying to just finish the season. And
agree.
There's this sense that no one really feels that it's about to end the regular season.
That is why top seeds or top 2 seeds a lot of times lose because the lower seeds they have nothing to lose. They will just say, okay, I'll drop this guy, I'll get this whatever this guy can. If you're the top seed, you say, hey, I have a strong team, why would I add whoever that guy is? I don't need them. I have a better name player. So that's usually what happens.
And again, we said it I think yesterday that in the playoffs you don't need to dominate your opponent 7-2, 8-1, right? 6-3. You don't need that. All you need is 5 categories.
5 cuts. Yeah.
If you just focus on the 5 and take it a day at a time, I think you'll have a better chance of winning than what your opponent thinks, even if he's the top seed.
And again, only the lower seeds will think of that right away. The top seed will be like, whatever.
Yeah,
I can fight you in any of.
Especially if they were dominating the regular season.
Yes.
They would feel that, hey, I've dominated this league. I've been winning 7-2, 6-3. But the difference is, during the regular season, you don't drop certain players that, you feel would give you value later on. Now, if they're useless, you'll just drop them.
The top seed will say, why will I limit myself to 5 categories when I can win 7? I have more buffers, right? But that is the wrong thinking because, the other manager is just concentrating on 5 and you're concentrating on 7 or 8 or even 9. So that would make your players not as valuable anymore. That would change values basically. Like a Thybulle, you will say a Thybulle doesn't give me points, doesn't give me 3 points, doesn't give me this or that. But the other manager will only see 2 categories.
Your opponent would probably not be threatened because you added a Matisse Thybulle.
Yes.
They will, or even if you added a KJ Martin, because I won't mention Campazzo because he's been playing really well. So I'm pretty sure he's on the radar of a lot of managers. But Thybulle is not the type of player who's going to be on managers' radar because he doesn't score, right? So managers, top-seeded managers might just, shrug it off and say, hey, it's just Thybulle. Why would he even add Thybulle? And then before he knows it, you've been leading the steals and blocks, and you don't sacrifice your field goal, you don't sacrifice your free throw, because these types of players don't take as many field goal and free throws, and they don't turn the ball over as much. So those are 5 categories already that you can really win. Because if they have a strong team, most likely they'll win the rebounds, they'll win the points, they'll win the three. And they were built to do that. So, and the steals and blocks, like we've always said, there's always luck involved when it comes to steals and blocks, right? So I guess that's how we'll probably end it. This quickie. Hopefully you were able to do that and pick up from that and see how you can strategize for the remainder of the week. All right, we are done for this quickie. It's the middle of the week. We'll see you again tomorrow for another daily fantasy quickie. Solid episode. Wait, by the way, guys, if you haven't, there's a survey out on our Facebook group, NBA Fantasy Locker Room by Fantasy Benchwarmers. Please, if you can, just fill it out, and that's just a preparation for our leagues next year. And yeah, that's it. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.